Elizabeth Swagger is with us. She is the director of the Oregon Fair Trade Campaign. The website is citizenstrade.org, citizens with an S, trade.org. And Elizabeth, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's great to be on.
Thanks for joining us. Having lived in Oregon for 5 years, and having known Ron White, I don't know him like a buddy or anything, but he used to come in the studio and be on my show a lot when I was doing a local show there in Portland. Always thought very well of him, but he's the co-sponsor of this Trade Promotion Authority thing, which is Fast Track. What's happening in Oregon with regard to a fair trade campaign, and how is that affecting Senator Wyden?
Well, to start off with, we've been reaching out to Senator Wyden for some years now. And in many ways, he's played a very useful role in pushing for better transparency. Unfortunately, what it's really only resulted in is lip service. Senator Wyden had been talking about a major alternative to fast-track legislation, which is a process that's only used on the biggest, baddest free trade agreements, and it allows a trade deal like the TPP to be negotiated for years and years behind closed doors with corporate lobbyists at the table, but the public is shut out. And only then, once the negotiations are over and changes are all but impossible, it allows the public to take a quick look before going for a vote. Now, those are the changes that Senator Wyden has gotten in the new fast track bill that he has given his support for. And that's not transparency. That's the same old corrupt process that we've already had. And it's going to result in trade agreements like the TPP that offshore jobs and drive down wages.
So what is Oregon's Fair Trade Campaign doing? What are you all up to?
Well, you likely know that President Obama is coming to Oregon to give a speech at Nike on his current trade policy.
Isn't that astonishingly ironic, given that Nike has never, ever manufactured in the United States? They've always manufactured overseas. They're basically a marketing company.
I think that's a really good point. The TPP model of globalization, which Nike perfectly illustrates, is to offshore jobs to countries with horrendous labor and environmental practices.
Yeah, who's the guy who's the CEO or the owner of Nike? I'm forgetting his name. I used to know it when I lived there.
That would be Phil Knight.
Yeah, Phil Knight. He became a billionaire through so-called free trade.
That's correct. He actually wrote his thesis in business college on this model where you maximize profits by using cheap sweatshop labor abroad.
Right.
So he's kind of famous for this. And, Oregonians, our values are to pay people decent wages and for people to have good livelihood and healthy food. And that's why we're going to see hundreds of Oregonians raise their voices to oppose the Trans-Pacific Partnership Free Trade Agreement outside of the president.
Elizabeth Swagger, the director of Oregon Free Trade Campaign, citizenstrade.org is the website. Check it out. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.